Hi guys, this is Daniel from Hidden Bigfoot Research Labs. Today I am working on a custom built trike. This is my dad's little baby. Basically my elder sister here. He built this thing, the first one, original one, when he was like 14. He's even been on my ass so much, he pretty much talked me into building one. And I can tell you what mine is. Mine is a 72 Volkswagen Beetle. And just a quick show. See, it's got the 1600 dual port. It's a work in progress. Don't worry about that, because we are working on this one. Now, this one has the automatic transmission. I believe he said it came out of a 70-something hatchback Volkswagen something. Hell, I don't know. But he said it had a hatchback or something like that, which what they didn't have out a lot. And it's not the semi-automatic, it is the automatic. Yeah, he's leaking a bunch of oil. He's bought some rebuild stuff. You can see over there. This winter we're probably going to tear this thing apart and give it an actual rebuild. But he was talking to me because his carburetor here, he said, was flooding. And because he said he thinks it's in the float. And I'm hoping I can, or at least see what's wrong. Because it's supposedly a pretty close to brand new carburetor, so they may have just assembled something wrong when they were doing it. But when he bought the carburetor, they didn't give him any clips, so he just zip tied this thing on. He was going to order the clips, but never got around to it, I think, because it started flooding. Well, looky there, looky there. I got his clip system off. I can't see anything, so yeah, I gotta lift it up. Alright, hold on. To lift this body up, underneath the seat, I gotta lift this up. See right there, he's got bolts that hold this thing down. Alright, I got the body up in the air now. Now let's look at this thing. So let me take these off, Okay. Now I just gotta take out these 6 screws here, and the whole top of this carburetor will just come off. And I can see if the fault is working, or if it's clogged, or if it's malfunctioning, or see what's going on here. And I don't think I've actually got to take this carburetor off the engine. Give me just a second. Alright, let's pull this cover off. I gotta disconnect that. Hell. Surely I gotta do that. Well, I guess I gotta take this fucking little clip off right there. Okay, I'm gonna be very careful, and I'm gonna pop that clip off without getting it into the butterflies there, and without losing it. So I'm going to stick that rag just right there right now. And it's off. And then slide that rod off of there. Now the whole top should just lift off. Boom. And I'm going to check it real quick, but see, if need be, you see that little flap where it connects to the bottom of it? There's this black thing in my hand here. It's hard to record and do this, but it holds that float and that needle valve. And my pen is already trying to slide out. You see that hole? I can feel it hitting the back of my pinky. So I'm about to have to put the camera down. But I'm about to just blow through it and see why. Okay, looking at this thing. When it's going all the way up, it looks like it's not allowing it to shut off completely. There's a little rubber diaphragm on the bottom of it. So I'm going to take this open and clean it just a little bit. And I may even bend that tab up just a tiny bit, just to try to take the play out of it. Because it did seal off a little bit when I pushed up quite a bit, but not a whole lot. And this is a pretty new carb, so I think it just needs adjusted and tweaked in. Once I bend that tab, which you can see from the bottom, you can see there's quite a bit of play before it even makes contact. and I think it's almost full before it gets a chance to work. But I think that'll fix this problem. And to clean this, you see, if you take that pin out, that whole needle valve will just slide right on out. See? And you want to look up in that port and check for trash and debris, which this one looks pretty good. And see how I was just blowing through it. Let me look at that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm just going to bend that tab just a little bit. And see, with this electronic fuel pump, I think with that rubber tap, because the old carburetor didn't have that rubber tip on it, it was just a regular needle valve. Oh, it's a little bearing, that's not even a tip. I think it just needs just a tiny bit of adjustment. Alright, now I'm going to show you. I'm just going to go just a little bit. And see, it's even bending back, this back tab here. So just very carefully bend it just a little bit. Now it ain't got to be all the way up for it to work. And I may have to adjust it a little bit more down or a little bit more up. We'll just have to see. That'll at least make it quit flooding. And while it's down, it should be able to work fine. And see, it was pretty close to being straight up at 90. Now it's come back just a little bit. Yeah, let's put it back together. Oh, now if this wasn't a brand new carburetor, and I mean, you can see how there's a little bit of dirt and trash in the bottom of it. But I mean, this thing is basically brand new still. I mean, it all looks good. All the ports look good. All the jets look good. I mean, I'm just gonna wipe that out and not even worry about it. But if this wasn't brand new, I would actually take this jet apart here, and from all the way in from this gas line in, I would see why it's dirty. Even if I had to take out this little fitting here, and then I believe that's where the fuel screen is, the built-in one. And I'm looking at the secondary gas line here. I'm trying to figure out what the hell that is. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. Oh, I bet it went to a secondary carb. Oh, that might have been why it was flooding too. Oh, he's lucky it wasn't just pouring out on top of his engine. Yeah, I need to cap that, because that would have went to a dual carburetor system, and this is just a single carburetor system. But okay, I'm going to put it back together. I'm going to put my gasket in, and when you do your gasket, make very sure you have it the right way. Because see, it fits that way, and you see all the ports and all the holes line up. If I put it on this way, normally one of them will only work one way. Let me see which way this one goes. Because I've had them where it looks close, but once you put it together, one of the ports is messed up. Okay, they printed both of it on this one. Because see, like right here, I had gaskets where that hole wasn't there, and this one was. You see how there's a port right there? And when it was on like that, it would be right, but when it was on like that, it would be like cardboard over it. You understand? The jet was covered up, and then it didn't run worth a shit. And since this gasket came off of it and it's still good, you can see the outline of the housing. Just make sure that all lines up and make sure all your jets are closed. Yeah, like see, okay, right here. That hole caused that, and it's not on the top. So yeah, you see I got it the same way it went in, because that dark spot matches right up on that little brass fitting. And make sure it's all nice and straight, all the holes are lined up. I have to put this back together, get it where it's supposed to be, which is this way. Okay, you see how there's pontoons kind of on this? The pontoons will go down. You see how there's a little hangy thingy? You want to hang that onto the float and then guide it down into the hole. and then push the pin in. And then I'm going to blow on it again. I see it's shutting off really good now. Alright, that should work. And I may have bent that a little bit too much. I'm going to bend that back out. I may have to drive it to see where it's at. I may just have to mess with it a few times. But I think that'll work for him. He just wants to go for a ride. Alright, so let's put this back together. Alright, make sure your gasket's all nice and lined up, which mine is. I'm going to swing that around. That rod I'm going to put back up and make sure I get it in the right spot. And that pin to that float, make sure you get that straight, guys. Or else you'll be fighting it and not realize why. Alright, I got it mostly down. I can see my gasket is straight because it's sticking out. I make a couple of the holes here. I can look down through there and see it's good. And then I'm just going to start them right here with my hand. And there. Now let me get the gas line and I'll go. Okay, these carburetor lid top, carburetor top, they go in the recessed spots here. And this, is that a name? It says Rally 004R is what this carb is. Remember that? And I'm just using my impact to get them tight or close. I'm going to use the screwdriver to do the rest of the way, because I don't want to strip any of this. I'm doing a star pattern to pull it down straight. Okay, I'm going to carefully... Alright, let's start it. Oh, pumped it a couple times with the accelerator pump. Battery's kind of low. Alright, let's try it again. Alright, now I'll check that in a minute and I'll make sure the gas is shutting off. Alright, I just undid the hose. And I'm just going to put that back onto there. When I blow through this hose, it should be shut off enough that I don't see any gas come out. And I should be able to not be able to blow. She shut off. I cannot blow through it. Alright, we got her back together. And I'm going to blow through the hose one more time. It's still locked in and sealed. So we are good. We are finished. So I'm going to just, y'all don't need to see me set this down and lock the body down. But that's all it took to adjust that carburetor just a little bit to keep it from flooding. And I may have to open it up once or twice just to fine tune it just a little bit. but that should be plenty for it. Alright, thanks for watching, and please subscribe, and thanks for checking out my dad's trike. He'll love every view, I promise you guys. He is more gung-ho about these things than anyone else I've ever met. But alright, thank you.